Hello, and welcome back to the Crime Reel. This week's true crime narration is a little different to usual in that we shall be looking at two separate cases, both of which have been connected to popular TV and film in some way. First, we shall look at a murder which occurred in France in the 1990s, which was allegedly inspired by the American TV series Columbo. Columbo, starring Peter Falk, ran for a total of 13 seasons from 1971 to 2003. The first episode of Season 4 initially aired in 1975. It was called An Exercise in Fatality, and, unknown at the time, it would become the inspiration for a murder which took place over 20 years later, thousands of miles away, near Paris in France. This episode of the show tells the story of Milo, the owner of a chain of health clubs, whose business partner discovers that Milo has been cheating him out of money. This partner has enough proof to take the case to the authorities, so Milo plans what he believes to be the perfect murder. He kills his partner with a heavy barbell, whilst making it look as though his partner had been accidentally crushed when trying to lift weights that were far too heavy for him. After several twists and turns in the plot, Columbo eventually solves the case. However, this did little to deter Nadege Wiktorska and her lover Jean-Stéphane Cézanne 20 years later, who watched a repeat of the episode and then plotted the death of Nadege's husband, Jean-Bernard Wiktorska. Nadege and Jean-Bernard lived in an apartment in Val d'Oise, north of Paris, with their two young sons. According to Nadege, the marriage was not a happy one, and Jean-Bernard was often violent towards her. By 1995, Nadege has started an affair with one of the couple's friends, Jean-Stéphane Cézanne, who she had known since they were both children. Jean-Stéphane had been in and out of prison since the early 1980s for various robberies and drug-related offences. It is believed that he had a problematic childhood with parents who drank, argued, and were often violent. Nadege wanted out of her marriage, and it is believed that her and Jean-Stéphane had decided that they wanted to start a new life together. This was to be away from the violence of Jean-Bernard. If Jean-Bernard died, Nadege and Jean-Stéphane would be able to collect the life insurance payout with which they planned to move to Mexico and open a bar. They needed to commit the perfect murder and use the episode of Columbo as the inspiration for their crime. Sunday, 18th of June 1995 was Father's Day in France, so Nadege arranged for her sons to give their father, Jean-Bernard, a bench and weights for his gift. 4 weeks later, on Friday, July the 14th, 1995, both of Nadege's sons were away with friends, so Nadege and Jean-Stéphane decided it was time to put their plan into action. Later that day, Jean-Bernard was found dead on his weight bench. It appeared that a 50-kilogram barbell with weights had fallen across his throat, crushing his larynx and carotid artery. His death was ruled as accidental, with the medical examiner concluding that he died from mechanical asphyxiation. Nadege, who was supposedly devastated by the death of her husband, made plans for his funeral. 3 days later, on the day that Jean-Bernard was due to be cremated, the police received a call from a woman who wanted to remain anonymous. The woman told them that they needed to halt Jean-Bernard's funeral as his death was not accidental. It had been murder. With virtually no time to spare, the police descended upon the Gonesse funeral home and put a stop to the cremation so that a full autopsy could be performed. Once this was completed, it was revealed that Jean-Bernard had multiple lesions on his trachea, which were inconsistent with the weight having fallen onto his neck. It also revealed that Jean-Bernard had a significant quantity of alcohol in his system, along with the powerful sedative Rohypnol. Both Nadege and Jean-Stéphane were arrested shortly afterwards. At the time of his arrest, Jean-Stéphane was wanted for absconding after a different crime, so claimed to be Jean-Bernard, which was obviously soon disproved. Almost immediately, Nadege and Jean-Stéphane started to blame the other for the murder. Nadege claimed that her marriage was a living hell, and together with her lover, Jean-Stéphane, they had planned to kill Jean Bernard. On the day of Jean Bernard's death, which had been chosen because her 2 children were away, the 3 of them had all been drinking together. Nadege left the 2 men alone at the apartment while she went to lunch with a friend. She then claimed that Jean-Stéphane killed Jean Bernard while she was out of the apartment. However, Jean-Stéphane claimed that Nadege was the one who committed the murder. He said that she had been begging him to kill her husband for years. On the day in question, Jean-Stéphane claimed that Nadege had called him to her apartment, claiming that her husband was out and that they could be alone. When Jean-Stéphane arrived, he found Jean Bernard was already in a deep sleep, and Nadege was insisting that they took care of the problem once and for all. Jean-Stéphane claims that he refused to commit murder and left the apartment. When the case went to trial, a friend of Jean-Stéphane testified that Jean-Stéphane had confided in them that he had committed the murder. This, helped by the psychological examinations stating that Jean-Stéphane was the manipulator and Nadege the follower in the relationship, led to Jean-Stéphane being convicted and sentenced to life in prison for the murder. Nadege was found guilty of being an accessory to murder and was sentenced to 13 years in prison. In 2003, Jean-Stéphane appealed his sentence. He once again blamed his former mistress for the murder. His original sentence was upheld and he remains in prison to this day. Nadege did not appeal her sentence and was released from prison in 2007. That's the first story completed. I'd like to say thank you to Delphine Singal for suggesting this story. She made a comment in the Sheila Davalou case. And also couldn't move on without saying hello to the YouTube commenter, Columbo. Columbo frequently comments on each video, so hello to you. For our second case today, we shall be looking at one of a number of defendants who have pleaded not guilty to their crimes based on what has become known as the Matrix defense. The first Matrix film was released in 1999. It is an American science fiction action film starring Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne, set in a dystopian future where humanity is unknowingly trapped inside a simulated reality created by machines. The film follows the rebellion of humans against these machines. The movie, which blurs the lines between reality and fantasy, has been accused of not only inspiring a number of violent crimes, but also becoming the defense strategy for those accused of them. The Matrix defense argues that a person should not go to prison for their crimes because they believe that they were living in a simulated reality when they committed them. It is a form of insanity defense which aims to show that the accused could not distinguish right from wrong, and as such they should be sent to an institution for treatment rather than a prison. One such case is that of Tonda Ansley. Tonda lived in a rented house in Butler County, Ohio. She maintained a polite and amicable relationship with her landlord, a lady by the name of Dr. Sherry Lee Corbett. Sherry was born on the 4th of December 1946 and was one of 4 children born to Irvin and Doris Myers. After graduating high school in 1964, she went on to obtain a bachelor's degree from Oral Roberts University in 1969, a master's degree from the University of Tulsa in 1971, and a doctorate from Oklahoma State University in 1974. Sherry went on to become an associate professor at Miami University of Ohio, and in 1995 was named Teacher of the Year at the university. In that same year, she was named the city's Citizen of the Year as a result of her work in the Dayton Lane historic area, where she was credited with restoring over 20 historic homes in the district, helping to transform the neighborhood. 7 years later, on the afternoon of Sunday the 27th of July 2002, 55-year-old Sherry was near her parked car at North 10th Street and Campbell Avenue, which was just a few blocks from her home. Her tenant, 37-year-old Tonda approached her and shot her 3 times in the head. The attack happened in broad daylight with multiple witnesses, and the police arrived at the scene within minutes. Tonda was immediately arrested, and Sherry was taken to the University Hospital in Cincinnati, where she was pronounced dead. There appeared to be no motive for this unprovoked attack. Tonda was charged with aggravated murder and faced a prison sentence of up to 23 years if convicted. During her interviews with the police, Tonda told them why she had committed the crime. She admitted that she had planned to kill not only Sherry, but 3 other people that day: her husband Brett, a psychiatrist, and a third man, believed to be Sherry's business partner, Robert Sherwin. In her statement, Tonda stated that a couple of months earlier she had contacted the National Security Agency about a plot that had been made against her. When the NSA failed to get back to her, she decided to take matters into her own hands. She described how her landlady, Sherry, was part of a conspiracy to brainwash her, keep her captive, and ultimately kill her. She is quoted as saying, "They commit a lot of crimes in the Matrix. That's where you go to sleep at night and they drug you and take you somewhere else, and then they bring you back and put you in bed, and when you wake up, you think that it's a bad dream." She claimed that she was drugged to make her think that the things she envisioned were dreams. She did not think she was committing murder, as it wasn't reality. Also, in her confession, it is understood that she said, "I think that the only thing that was not right with what I did was that I didn't set it up so that I could get them all. I knew that it was illegal, and, to be honest, I thought that I'd get shot because they wouldn't know why I was doing it." However, after her lawyer entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity, Tonda tried, unsuccessfully, to get the insanity plea struck from her record. She claimed that she wanted to represent herself at trial but was not allowed to do so. The case went to trial in May 2003, and Tonda was found not guilty by reason of insanity. 3 independent psychologists found her to be legally insane at the time of the shooting, and the judge noted that Tonda truly believed what she was saying to be true. Tonda was sent to the maximum security hospital, Twin Valley Behavioural Healthcare in Columbus, to be held indefinitely. By 2010, Tonda had been moved to the Summit Behavioural Health Facility in Cincinnati and, after being diagnosed, treated with medication, and having been in full remission for several years, was allowed unsupervised day release from the facility. It is understood that she comprehends the extent of her illness and suffers a great deal of remorse for her previous actions. It is unclear what has happened to Tonda since then. Sherry's life was commemorated with the installation of the Sherry Corbett Memorial Sculpture in 2016. This sculpture honours Sherry's commitment to the restoration efforts in Hamilton. The sculpture features one of Sherry's ideas, a high-wheeled bicycle, a symbol of the area, with a dog in tow. The sculpture is a wind vane which is designed to look as though the rider is pedalling. The bicycle also has a can containing flowers on the handlebars, which was a nod to Sherry, who always had a Coke can filled with flowers in the basket of her bike. That concludes today's stories. Just a quick mention to Brian N., who asked if I could try and occasionally put in a not guilty verdict. So there you are, Brian. There's a case for you. Please add any comments down below on the cases. As always, I'll be interested in reading them. Let me know what you think of the style with 2 separate stories. Thanks very much for listening to The Crime Reel. Stay safe. Goodbye. Psst. I'd like to know your views as to whether you believe that violent TV programs, films or video games leads to people committing crimes that they otherwise would not have done. Or do you believe that the intention and inclination would be present irrespective of what is viewed? Goodbye.